All right. Happy New Year 2024. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Real Deal. Once again, it is 2024, the first episode of The Real Deal on a Saturday. So let's get it. All right. Again, well, Happy New Year. Hope everyone is enjoying the new year. It is 2024. Can't believe it already. And a lot of things has already happened in this first week in sports and entertainment. If you've been watching and just listening to a lot of different things, Cat Williams has just went off on just about everybody in comedy and entertainment and things like that. So it's already been a crazy week, and it's only the first week of 2024. But welcome to another episode of The Real Deal. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. Glad to be back. New year, same podcast. Great. We're gonna have some great episodes. Trying to take this podcast to the next level. With a lot of great guests, a lot of different guests, and everything. I got a real good one coming up shortly. But if you want to follow the show on all the socials, all the social media platforms, all the podcast platforms, at Get the Real Deal on Twitter, on Facebook as well, Instagram. You can follow me on those platforms as well. BS3 TV, BS3TVLive.com, BS3 TV app on the Roku channel. So you can follow all those avenues there. We're on Spotify, Google Play, Apple, YouTube, uh, Spreaker. So yeah, The Real Deal with Courtney Harden, BS3Network.com, BS3TVLive.com as well. So again, I hope everyone enjoyed their New Year's and hoping for, healthy new year and just a fruitful new year for everyone out there as well. So, but let's get right into the show. Like I said, I got a great guest coming up on the show today, and he's been wanting to get on the show for a little bit. I've been on, a couple of his shows because he's a producer of the Blonde Blitz and with Deb Wickes and Nikki Gist. I was on their show just a couple weeks ago. We were talking Eagles Giants, and again, he does production. He's also a host, podcast host himself. Thunder and Lightning with Nikki. And yeah, he does a little bit of everything. So knows his sports, and I'm very, very excited to have him on. I got Dan Behan,
No, it's Behan, but
Behan.
I'll let you slide with Behan. I get that every now and then.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So
Yeah,
Dan
no.
Behan, like I said, producer, podcast host, a little bit of everything. He said just knows a lot about his sports, and big New York Giants fan. So as you see in the
Right.
background, Eagles versus Giants again, week 18. So we're gonna get into all that. So Dan, welcome to the show, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. I'm excited. I'm sorry I'm not the beautiful blonde like Deb and Nikki, but you don't have to do with me. What's
Yeah.
up?
Yes. So shout out to Deb and Nikki too. I love, I love that show. Love what you guys are doing over there.
Thanks.
You guys now the new YouTube channel.
Right.
You guys are launching, so we're gonna get into all of that. So, but how's your New Year been so far? How was your New Year, and how was your holiday season?
Holiday season was really good. Other than Christmas Day with the Eagle Giant game, but we'll get into that later. But the holiday season was good. I'm more of a low key guy. I'm a father of two with a wife, so two kids under four. So we do a low key New Year's. We hung out, watched some CNN with Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen, and that was about it right now. So yeah, how was yours?
Christmas was good. Christmas was really good. It just busy. I went back home to upstate New York, me and my wife, and visited family. So big family. So
Right.
went to a couple of parties. kids, and the nieces, nephews. It was just good to have everyone together, but it was so hectic. It's never low key when all the entire families are together.
Oh yeah, I
So,
hear
but
you.
it was so great. It was great to see family. We were there for 2 weeks, so
Oh,
it was good. We worked the one week, then we had the last week off, and then we
okay.
got back home. New Year, we got back home on Thursday before New Year's, so it was
You
so
were
we
dead
just
by the time New Year's.
yeah,
Got it.
we was good. It was good. We had 4 days to just relax. So again, New Year's was very low key. We always do that. Like if we go home for a week or two, come back a couple days before New Year's before we got to get back to work, and it was very low key. As you said, we watching marathons of Law and Order or Marvel. We was watching a
Right,
lot,
right.
of that, and kind of just chilled on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Did nothing really, so it was good. It was very good. So enjoyed it. So yeah, I can't complain. Loved every bit of it. So it's good to be with family. So
No, what Marvel marathon did you get through?
oh man, well they whatever was on TV. I mean they had.
Oh,
I know
TV.
they,
Okay, got it.
yeah. We just watching on TV because I've watched all the Marvels. A big
Right.
Marvel fan, and but
Good.
just all the reruns of it. I mean, Civil War was on at one point, and I
All
think
my favorites.
Infinity War was on, and just yeah, they were just Iron Man 1 and 2. I think Iron Man 2 and 3 was on. So yeah, we're just watching a bunch of them, and yeah, whatever came on. I think Black Panther was on the other day too. So yeah, it was good. It's always good to catch up on the Marvel and everything too. So but yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into a little bit of your background. Um, talk a little bit about your background, how you got started into sports, what got you into sports, what got you into even producing too, because as you said, you got down that side too, the production side. So
Right.
talk about your background.
First quick background. Like your average American male, started real young, like in sports, whether it was my family or my parent, my dad or our oh well, I'm the older sibling, but like cousins and everything else like that. And then just always being around and the games are always on, then I became that person as well. So I guess my first real love was basketball. So I
Okay.
really a big Nick fan. And then I guess roughly around eighth grade, I always liked the Giants, but around eighth grade, when I started really playing tackle football, is when I started falling in love with the Giants. My family, my great uncle was a Giant season ticket holder since Yankee Stadium. So,
Okay.
so the Giants are in my blood, as like everybody likes to say. Like if you're a diehard Giant fan, I'm sure the Eagles are the same way.
Hmm.
I know the Eagles are the same way. I should say. It's just like you're born into it, kind of thing. Then I just took up the passion of following the Giants and loving them. I probably missed 5 to 10 games in the last 20. What's going to be 24 years because
Yeah.
2000. So, crazy diehard Giant fan. Became a season ticket holder in the 2017 season. So, the Giants are my thing. As for podcasting, it was funny. Like 20, 2012, a good friend of mine that I went to high school with, my friend Steve, we were listening to like the Rich Eisen podcast. That was like before he had the big radio show. That's
Mm.
he started a podcast, and I was like, "Yo, you should check it out. It's pretty cool, interesting. It's not the Rich Eisen on Sunday mornings on game day. Um, he's like a real person, you know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, we could do this if you want. So I've been solidly podcasting for the last 11 years, actually. Then last year, I actually found Nikki on Twitter, and me and her start clicking, and we talked about me joining the old platform me and her were on. Me and her automatically hit it off. And then we were like, hey, I have this opportunity at TSS Fantasy Football. Would you like to produce with me and Deb? Deb is, as everybody doesn't know, if no one knows, Deb is actually a two-time Emmy winner. So I was like, to learn something from a two-time Emmy winner. Obviously, I'm pretty new at the producing game, and then knowing Nikki and how much me and her work well together, it was the right move for me. So this football season has been very fun learning how to produce with Deb on my side. So it's really fun. Like some nights I'd be like, hey, like whenever me and Deb are just talking like post show or whatever, and I'm feeling down or whatever, Deb's like, no, you're actually killing it. So like that really feels good because it's like, all right, she does this for a living. She's not going to BS me kind of thing because I know. So those long nights when like, damn, this is really tough. Like trying to like gel and everything, and like
Yeah.
how Deb and Nikki, they both have high personalities. So it's like, all right, Nikki is like more type A. Deb's also type A, but she is like, it's like fun, like managing and coaching type of thing, and like
Mhm.
trying to figure out like the rotation. So I try to take it as like a sports coach or like a teacher in a way. Like you're trying to mix and match and like what things want to work, what things don't want to work, and I'm always trying to keep an open dialogue with Deb and Nikki at the same time because ultimately they're the stars of the show. I'm there working for them. So if they're not happy about something, you have to quickly try to figure something out, and they'll both tell me to my face or through a text or a call. Like they have no problem telling me. So it's more of like, it's funny. It's like I joke with Nikki all the time. I'm also a part therapist, so it's more of like trying to mix and match. Also, be a therapist at the same time for both of them. Make
Right.
sure their mind's right Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. We're ready to go. It's pure chaos. From Wednesdays are pure chaos sometimes because of all three of our busy work schedules, but we find a way to control that chaos and have a controlled chaos podcast. So yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, and like I said, I've been a part of it. I've been a guest on the show, and I've had both of them on the show. I had them together. I
Correct.
remember when you guys first launched it, and me and you were talking about that, and you guys launched. I said, well, I'll whatever I could do, I'll put them
Yeah,
both on the
we
show.
really appreciate it. You
Yeah,
advocating for us. We really do.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. And like I said, it's just I said I've known Deb and Nikki for a couple of years now, just connecting with them over the last couple of years, and I've had them on multiple times. So I was like, let's so you guys are launching this podcast, the Blonde Blitz, and if you guys don't, yeah, follow the Blonde Blitz,
Oh, absolutely.
follow it on all social media and podcast platforms. Like I said, you guys now got to launch the new YouTube channel, and it's on TSS Fantasy too, and I just said, "Hey, let's just come on and just to talk about what it is." And I remember, I think it was Nikki was talking about this before it launched, and she
So
was saying that it was we're deciding. She was just trying to find a partner, to have, and 'cause she was trying to look for certain things, to get back into podcasts. I know she was doing a podcast before, a couple of them, and she was just looking to where to land. And she said her and Deb just kind of had same similarities and things
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Yeah,
So
no, like it was like when Nikki brought the idea to me
yeah,
after knowing her for the last year. I was like, yeah, this fits you. Like, and I was very as you are as well, because I see you interviewing WNBA players and just overall females. Like for us as guys, we don't understand the what it is to be a female in sports.
right, yeah,
So it's like you need just like it's like the basic stuff. So like me also learning what they're thinking on top of
hmm,
obviously the average sports fan, it would be like, oh, okay, I see how you guys think of it differently in this way. Let's try to attack that or try to get more female engaged because let's face it, more than half of the football fan base are females now. It's growing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if you're male, female, it doesn't matter. Blonde Blitz is a very fun show. I'll pop on every now and then to joke and crack jokes and everything like that. So
yeah,
like with that being said, like yeah, we're trying to get the female market going, and it's just like it's right there, and hopefully the females like like get into the show, like it as well, because it's for everybody, but it's more geared towards females at the moment. But if you're a female football fan, check us out for sure.
yeah.
It's
Check it
really
out.
fun. We
It
have like
is.
I try to have funny segments with the girls because they're blonde. We have like the legally blonde Elle Woods, the new
Yeah,
snap of the week. They made another LVP, and they both love Barbie because they're both blonde and grew
yeah.
up with Barbie. So
Hmm.
I said, why not have the Ken of the Week as the MVP of the week? So we're trying to find different things that we enjoy ultimately, and then hopefully the fans and listeners are ultimately going to enjoy as well. Once we
Yeah.
get the ball rolling more and more as the years go on.
Right, right, and then like I said, I know you're very active on social media, as long with Nikki and Deb, and
But
I know they're even trying to. So they're just you guys are just trying to grow the the company and the brand itself. And
Right.
like I said, I was just glad to at least be a little small part of that. And
No, yeah, you definitely
and
are.
and when you need, like I said, when you need a guest or whatever, I'm always down. Like I said, just finding the time, and we did it. And yeah, so shout out to, they said Deb is a 2-time Emmy winner,
Yeah, no, like
almost a
that.
3-time Emmy winner. She
Yeah,
almost won again, was won again for the Steve Harvey for the court what he does, the judge show that he does. And
no,
yeah, she's all over the place as Nikki is too. And I know they're talking Super Bowl. I know she's been hitting me up because our network did get picked. We got picked to get to the Super Bowl. We're just trying to find like what events can we do and everything too. So I know I'm trying to connect with Deb because she's been there and has done so much things for a Super Bowl. As well, just as a reporter or parties or whatever it is, events, things like that. So it's going to be interesting. Vegas is going to be crazy. I know.
yeah, no. It's gonna be crazy. I'm still trying to work out the logistics of hopefully me going as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm fingers crossed about going, but we'll see about that as well,
Yeah.
especially with a
It's
young
gonna.
family and everything.
Yeah.
But we'll
Right.
see.
Right. Yeah. I know. Me and my wife. She's coming. She's definitely going too. And I'm going too. Like I guess. Like, yeah. Let's go. And But yeah. And then like I said, we just finally got some formal credentials. We just don't know
That's great.
which
Congrats.
thank Thank you. Which events we tried last year. They had a little bit, but now I didn't get a chance to go last year. So definitely gonna go this season. So looking forward to it. Now we'll see if the Eagles are going to be representing them there. We'll see. But let's get into a little bit of this week
Let's do it.
18 Eagles Giants. They played on Christmas. A close game. I mean, I don't know how it was, but the Eagles, the way they've been playing over the last 4 to 5 weeks has been that way. They've been losing leads, and then they're losing games, and it's been a very weird year for the Eagles. I don't know what's going on with this team, coaching, everything else. But what's your take on this game coming up in Week 18 on the Giants side? What do you expect the Giants to do, or what they have to do to beat the Eagles tomorrow?
Okay. Well, it's what's really is going on with the Giants is we all know the situation this year is a bunch of injuries to the quarterback, Daniel Jones, and then Tyrod got hurt, and then the 3-week magical run with Tommy DeVito, and then back to Tyrod at halftime at Christmas. So ultimately, right now, I think with the Giants, I think they're just kind of continue to play strong, and whatever the chips may fall, they may fall. They're obviously not a perfect team. We're gonna potentially have 11 losses. So, honestly, I think it's going to be more of a similar situation what we've been doing in the last few weeks in terms of trying to keep on getting the pressure on the quarterback on defensively. Offensively, just literally getting any sort of offense would be great. Last week, Tyrod opened it up a little bit more on the passing on through the air. Saquon is still a threat, even though he's not that home run hitter we've seen in recent years, but he's still going to be Saquon. So potentially it's going to be Saquon's final game as a Giant, potentially. So we don't know. And he's like 80 something yards away from 1,000 yards. So be sure to you're definitely going to be seeing a heavy load of Saquon tomorrow, especially him trying to get 1,000 yards rushing. Because as we all know, it's a big honor. And him being able to do it 4 years out of his career already is pretty impressive. So, it's going to be interesting because I hate even admitting it, but we all know it's true. We all have eyes. We all have stats. We can go on Google and see it. The Eagles have dominated the Giants a lot in the last decade. So it's really ultimately, can the Giants stand up to the Eagles? Maybe 2 weeks ago was a big test of like, hey, all right, we could definitely, for whatever reason, the Eagles are not playing in full cylinders right now. We definitely didn't close the gap yet because we haven't beaten them yet, but it could happen. For the people that want to tank, they haven't tanked. So that's really been the fun question. Are you on the tank side? Are you not on the tank side? Me and Nikki argue about it all the time when I'm not on the tank side, but I do understand like the philosophy of like, okay, we get a top 5 pick. We only have 4 teams ahead of us to worry about which players we're going to get, but we can get into that later. But it's really that interesting. Our season's basically done, so hopefully our players play tough and make your guys' life basically a living hell tomorrow. So that's what I'm expecting tomorrow. So what are you thinking about the Eagles? Because it's really about you guys. You guys pissed away the division, and you're gonna have to rely on a tanking Commanders team to pull an upset against
Yeah,
Dallas.
I don't know. It's. I mean, with the Commanders and the Cowboys, it's still to me still the Cowboys on the road,
Right,
and you just
right,
never know. You never know what and if they take care of business like they should. Then yeah, then I think then they win the division. But they're going to Washington. It's still as bad as Washington has been. You just don't know. Just don't know
right.
what can happen in divisional games. I feel like Dallas will take care of business even though on the road, but then they could wet the bed too, as we've seen them do.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
and then but they're playing for the 2 seed. But if they lose, and okay, then we got the 425 game with the Eagles and Giants. So now the Eagles are playing for something because now Nick Sirianni he said earlier in the week, well, you know, we could play the stars, we could not play the starters. We're already here. We're already set. But my thing is with that, if they even don't even play the starters, even if they play a half, I know if Dallas wins, we can't go no. We're the 5th seed.
Right,
They can't move up. They can't move back. But I'm thinking to myself, you haven't played well enough leading
right,
into the
right,
playoffs.
right,
So you need some type of momentum
right.
to, get these kinks out, get whatever's going on because our defense has been terrible. Like, I mean, teams are just running up and down they can't get stops, and they can't do anything, they're not putting pressure on the quarterback. Uh, Teams are running against us, which has been our staple of stopping the run, and that hasn't happened. And we're just getting beat over the top with our banged up secondary and inexperienced secondary too. There's a lot of inexperience too in on that secondary with Slay out as well. So I think they need to play. I think the Eagles need to play regardless if they
And I'm with you.
and then play hard and they got to get a rhythm. Their offense has to get back into a rhythm. It's just been bad overall over these past 6 weeks. And I don't know if it getting to the playoffs they're going to just flip the switch and turn it around. I mean, yes, still got Jalen Hurts, still got AJ Brown, still got Devontae Smith, still got weapons, and defensively they can get pressure on the quarterback. But I don't know. I think they need to play. I think they need to really play, try to make a statement against the Giants if they can, and just play. I mean, just play until try to get that rhythm back to what
Right.
they were in the beginning of the year.
How bad is Devontae Smith's injury? I know he's not playing tomorrow, but will he be ready next week? The following,
I don't even know. I think they said I think it's an ankle sprain.
yeah. So
It is.
yeah,
Yeah, we don't know how. Like if it's a high ankle sprain, they never said. So I don't know if he's gonna be ready for next week either. Wherever they go, if it's in Philly, if they have to go to Tampa or New Orleans or I don't know. So it's it's gonna be interesting to see where how they respond, how they're going to play this game, because like I said, we'll know more after the Dallas game. But like I said, I think they need to play and they need to play hard. They need to. I get it. You don't want to risk injury, but at least play a half. You got to get some type of rhythm and get back to what they were. They got to get back running the football. I think that's one thing they need to do
yeah. I remember.
consistently is running the football. If they could run the football consistently, that opens up everything else. But it's been different. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. This year's been different because they're not the bully now. They're getting
Right,
bullied. They're
and that's
getting
the funny thing is Deb's been saying that at the start of the year, and it's like me and Nikki are like, Deb, you're 10-1. Stop complaining. You guys are finding ways to win. And then she's like, well, I don't like how they're playing. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
10-1, I don't care. It's just like Deb, stop whining type of
yeah.
thing. But
And now here we
here
are.
we are, and she was proving everybody right, and we're like, wow, Deb basically called it for a while. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm with you with the running game, man. With Swift, and you got Gainwell every now and then the giant killer Boston Scott against us. Like, just to definitely get that running game going, and then you have Jalen, tush push or not, you got Jalen busting away through the. We all know how good he is with the running the football. So,
Yeah,
like, it makes no sense. And then you have AJ Brown, and then you guys just forgot to use him as well, and
yeah,
then Goddard. It's just like you guys have the weapons. Like you guys are a scary team. Like you guys, if like even though you haven't done it in the last month, if you guys decide to turn on that switch, if that's even possible, you guys could make another deep run in the playoffs. Because let's face it, you guys are still a very good, solid team that a lot of teams, even though you guys haven't been playing well, are a scary team. So I get why you're nervous, and there's the reasons. You've seen it the last month, and it's like, oh boy. But going to an AFC South road game is going to be okay. You guys are probably going to be favorites, and then the rest of the playoffs is a complete crapshoot, as we all know. But
yeah, and
but
it's just trying to avoid the 49ers as much as
right,
possible. You don't want to see them in the second round, and they got to go because everything goes through San Francisco now.
Right.
So it's not like everything's going through Philly; it's going through
Right.
San Fran, and that's tough. And then as much as we don't like Dallas, they're going to be tough if they get out of the first round themselves. Detroit's another team that you just don't know. They're just
the gauntlet,
it's an unknown. So, and then you got other teams. I think the Rams could be dangerous. I think they could definitely be dangerous. Tampa Bay and New Orleans, whoever wins that division, it's a toss up. Going to South Florida, I guess could be, but it's Seattle. Seattle just went up. Even if we get the 2 seed, Seattle could come to Philly, and they already beat us. They've proven they beat us in Seattle, but
that was wild.
Yeah.
And like the funny thing is, I'll bring up Deb. Like we all know Deb's like calm demeanor and everything like that, and like she was texting me like angry, and I'm like, oh god, like last week, I'm like, I get it. I'm like, wow, the Eagles messed up bad when Deb's like not cursing, but like she'll curse. She's obviously an adult, but like she likes to pick her spots, but like.
Right.
Like, oh, the Eagles really messed up if she's texting me this right now. Then I put on Red Zone and I go, oh my god. I'm sorry to hear that, Deb.
Yeah,
not really, but I'm sorry.
Those type of games, the Seattle game, the Arizona game last week, it just because I'm usually because my wife says the same thing. She said, "Okay, I know when I'm upset. I'm upset, really upset because I can usually get over. I think I was telling you guys this a couple weeks ago. I can get over the loss. I'm like, okay, they didn't play well, but this has been going on for like a month." And you had the lead on both of these games, especially against Arizona last week. You're up 21-6, and you blow it again. It's like, and they 4 straight possessions. They just scored on it. And they were just going up and down the field against us. I'm like, we cannot make stops. But it's been like this. It's been like this whole season. Can't make stops. I think situationally, the situational football has just been out of control. I think coaching has been a problem, especially the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. And then you make a change. We talked about this before. You make a change in the middle of the season with defensive coordinator. That's a huge problem because now they have to. I was just reading about Hassan Reddick was saying they're using him now in pass coverage. That's not his game for one, and so Arizona took advantage of that. So he rushes the passer. He's a game changer rushing the passer. So, but that's the new system. That's Matt Patricia's system. He uses his defensive ends, Brandon Graham and Hassan Reddick, in pass coverage. Those guys, they've never done that.
Like that's like the whole trying too hard and like trying to outsmart everybody. I'm the smart rocket science guy. Get out of here, man.
No, you're getting exposed. And this team is getting exposed again. So we'll see what happens in this Giants game. I'm excited to see how this goes for this game. But let me ask you about the Saquon, and you brought that up. Do you feel, like I said, this could be his last game? So I know it's unknown, but do you feel like he's going to come back and be a Giant next year?
With Saquon, it's like an interesting thing. He's a running back, and it's really just like, yes, he deserves all the money he can get, but at the same time, positional value is like you can get a guy that's not going to be Saquon, but you could get 2 guys to fill what Saquon does with the fast game or get those tough yards. Not until we fix the offensive line. Ultimately, as you can see with the stats this year, it's really the thing that I see my son in the background.
Yes,
Just jumping in.
yeah.
It really cracks me up that until the offensive line really starts to gel, the stats are not going to ultimately be here. But he is almost at 1,000 yards. Like I mentioned before, he isn't that home run hitter anymore. No one is really once you have a couple injuries like he's had the last few years. But he's still a key contributor to the Giants. He is what a Giant is. He mentions that he wants to be a Giant for life. So me as a hopeless romantic type of thing, I would love to see Saquon here, but it's up to the dollars and cents and everything else like it right now. So I really hope he stays. I think they'll find a way to keep him. But if it's all like if he's asking for a lot more money than we could afford for a running back, I'm not going to be completely upset because I get it. At the end of the day, it is a business. So I love Saquon as a person and as a man that he is. So I would, if he was to stay for the right terms, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I agree. I think with the whole Saquon thing, it's more like you said, how much money the Giants are willing to pay him, how much and they utilize him so much. He's been their ultimate weapon. He's been their weapon for the last
Right.
5 years, and they're a different team when they're a different team when he's utilized the way he can be. And he's such a threat and everything too. And that's one thing I am afraid of with the game too. Saquon's still a big threat heading into this game. So I'm looking forward to see what he's going to looking forward to see how this matchup is this season. So
Yeah, sorry, my wife just got my son.
no,
Repeat that again.
no. I'm saying I'm still Saquon's still a threat. So I'm thinking of the Eagles. Um,
Yeah, no, especially the way the
how they can
Eagles are
stop him.
playing. Yeah, no, the way the Eagles have been playing rushing wise, it's going to be interesting to see because the first game we barely used them, and it's just like what are we doing? Like, why aren't we using him? And then when he was getting those carries, he was getting like 5 to 6 yards per pop on those tough runs, and then that's really what helped spark the comeback at the end of 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
I think my thing is, I think tomorrow, with the way Tyrod played 2 weeks ago and just the way Tyrod's been playing, obviously he's not the perfect quarterback. We all know that he's a backup for a reason, but he will make plays. You're like, that's the T-Mobile we know.
Yeah.
And then he'll like mess up that 2-point conversion last week with Saquon. And you're like, well, that's why he's Tyrod on the bench right now. So, so like, I think we can mess around and be frisky tomorrow. Ultimately, I think you guys are going to find a way to win because you do need the game more than me. Well, us, I guess, is the better way of saying that. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. Like I coaching all around the league. I'm not just talking about Daboll and Kafka and Wink and your coaches. It's like there's so many head scratching moves by coaches weekly, and you're just like they're trying too hard or they're trying to outsmart everybody instead of just doing what got you there type of thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Dan Campbell last week, instead of going for 2 the next 2 other times, you should have just kicked the extra point.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I was saying the same exact thing when watching the game and the end, and I'm thinking, okay, regardless of what happened, we know, like, okay, he's eligible, not eligible, that whole thing. Okay, so you didn't get it. I'd like to get it. He's upset. Should be upset. But the referees missed the tripping call. They botched that on Dallas's point, on Dallas's side. So when it came to that, so then the Dallas gets the penalty, so they move back up. I'm thinking to myself, okay, you can't keep trying this 2-point conversion 3 times, and then it didn't work. Kick the extra point, tie the game, go in overtime, and try to win it that way. But no, he wants to, as you said, a lot of these coaches and some of their decision making. I'm thinking to myself, wait, what is going on? This year with coaching, the refs, there's been bad officiating.
Oh, weekly.
All weekly, each week there's bad officiating. Some of the play calling. It's been an interesting year with everything. with the NFL. But this is why we love it too, because we keep coming back and watching these games. But it's been some bad football, a lot of bad football too.
Oh, it's been very mid this year. It's been
Yeah,
very mediocre this whole
yeah,
entire season. Yeah, I don't know whether it's just everybody so hyper focused on gambling. I'm one of those
could be,
people.
could be. I'm right
Fantasy
at you.
is like
Fantasy, and DraftKings has it all.
everybody's more focused on it, like in a like, okay, this is costing us money aspect of
Yeah,
things as well, which is
mhm,
definitely the case because let's face it, we're all like crazy. We'll watch the if like the Jets and Patriots were on today at 8 o'clock or 4 o'clock, the ratings wouldn't be as if it was like the marquee matchup like a couple weeks ago, but
yeah,
everybody's gonna still watch, and we're all crazy and fiending for just to have football. So
yeah.
football's a different animal.
It's a different animal. Exactly. It's a different animal. And Tom Brady, he talked about it to himself. Like, it's just mediocre quarterback play. And, there's a lot of, like, the backups, the third stringers are playing
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
injuries and bad quarterback play. I mean, Tannehill, look at him. Like, he got injured, but then he lost his job. And it's like, yeah. So I agree. I think it's just been bad play all around in the NFL. But as you said, we're still watching and we're looking forward to see what happens. So before I let you go, I want to get into some of these Week 18 matchups.
let's do it.
What matchups are you looking forward to? You got Buffalo, Miami. They're playing for the division, which that's a Sunday night game. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that. What other games are you looking into? I know some teams are playing for playoff positioning, and others are just they're going to be playing their backups. But any other games you are looking forward to in this last week of the season, regular season?
Well, like you said with the Bills and Dolphins, I'll touch on that real quick. The Dolphins are very banged up, and
Yeah,
it's going to be very interesting to see. They already have a playoff spot ready locked up. Obviously, you want to have a home game, so they're going to be trying to play as hard as they possibly can. Um, excuse me. Like I'm also looking at the Bills aspect of things. It's like it's basically
yeah,
a win and in for them because if a scenario doesn't go their way, they're looking at a 10-win season and not making the playoffs.
right,
So,
right.
that's rough. Another the both games today are very interesting. We got the Steelers Ravens at 4:30 today. I know the Ravens are basically resting up their guys, so
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It's definitely one of the best rivalries in the game. So the Ravens are going to be up for this to end the Steelers season, and they're outside looking in, but they want to have a 10-win season as well. The Steelers. So and Tomlin just keeps on adding to his legacy, never going under 500 is a cool thing. Him to get 10 wins would be awesome to see for him. Um, can Mason Rudolph make it 3 weeks in a row is basically going to be the biggest question today. I'm
yeah.
excited for that one. And then tonight, I'm excited. I know it's an AFC South matchup, but the Texans and Colts, they're
Yes.
also 9-7, and the winner of this game is either going to be in a look ahead to get a wild card spot, the last spot, or dare I say, a division title if the Jaguars find a way to
Lose. Yeah.
fall tomorrow.
Mhm.
So tonight's game has a lot of expectations, a lot of things riding on it. So I'm really excited. I like how the Texans have fought this year, and just to be in this spot, the last game of the year, no one really expected it. So kudos to them. And you could say the same with the Colts because let's face it, this was going to be a rebuilding year. They drafted a nice young rookie. Unfortunately, he fell, Anthony Richardson. So it's just like Minshew has found a way to get them
Yeah.
to this point, and they've been some weeks they've been fun to watch. They've been a fun red zone team. Other weeks are like, okay, these are the Colts that we were originally going to
Yeah, we
expect
originally
this year.
found. Yep.
So you have no idea which Colt team is going to show up. CJ Stroud he should win Rookie of the Year. He would be my vote, just the way he's played all season. So I'm excited for those 3 games mostly, and then I'm not really excited because the game's going to be completely crap, but I do want to see Belichick. Is it Belichick's last game as a Patriot?
Yeah.
Do they do the right thing, sending him off with a win? Do they mess up their draft spot? Obviously, Belichick's not going to be looking to do that. So I'm expecting them to go out with a bang as well. The Jets are the Jets, you know.
Yeah,
So
I agree with all those games. Looking forward to, as you said, just looking at the matchups. You said Texas and the Colts. Yeah, you're right. It's like for a division, for a playoff spot. Because if they said if the Jags,
you're
if they
yeah,
lose,
you're gonna feel the tension tonight. So
yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah.
really fun.
And if the Jags lose, I mean, we don't even know Trevor Lawrence. He's banged up. We don't know if he's going to play. They're saying it's going to be to the last minute. We're going to make this decision. So it looks like he's leaning towards not playing, but he's really banged up. So we'll see what from there. The Cowboys Commanders. We talked about that. I mean, that's just for more of an interest of the
Us,
NFC.
yeah.
Yeah, see what happens there. Yeah, but I agree with a lot. Saints in Atlanta. They say
Yep.
Atlanta could still win that division. That division, if they could steal the NFC South with a win, with the Bucks, and they're 7-9, 8-8. It's like that division's still wide open. So look to see what happens in that game too. So yeah, those are some of the games. And the Packers, they said the Packers still can get. They
Yeah.
get the
They're a
NFC
winning in.
6
Yeah,
seed,
they're a
yeah,
winning
with
in.
a win.
Yeah.
But the Bears are hot right now, 4-1. So yeah, quite a few games. Looking forward to see what happens there. So, and except from a betting standpoint as well,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're still in fantasy leagues, I know week 18 is usually
Yeah,
last
that
week was like the
yeah.
fantasy
I
championship.
think I think the year of like 2010, I think after the year of Peyton Manning not having to play against the Jets that one year,
Yeah,
where like everybody's like, no, if we can't have Peyton Manning in our fantasy championship, we're gonna do a week later earlier and just never
yeah.
have to deal with
Never have
that.
that again.
I
Yeah,
think I think that started it. Everybody used to play to the final week, but now with everybody not having wanting to play or don't need to play, it's just like no, we're not doing this anymore.
yeah, exactly. Totally. Well, Dan, thank you again
My pleasure, man.
for coming on the
Anytime.
show. I know, like I said, got the family and everything too, so I didn't want to keep you too long
No, I
and
appreciate it.
everything. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Let everyone know. Follow last words. Everyone know where they can follow you on social media, where they can find your work, the Blonde Blitz, and all those things.
Sure. You could obviously my handles there. DBHan on Twitter. DBHan87 on Instagram. You can find me on Monday nights with Nikki on Thunder and Lightning. That's our giant centric show. And then Wednesday nights I'm producing. Sometimes I'll pop in, fill in for either Deb or Nikki with their busy schedules. With the Blonde Blitz. You can find us on TSS Fantasy and then now on the Blonde Blitz YouTube channel. We're going to be still going to be live on both platforms. So just hit subscribe on the Blonde Blitz YouTube channel. We're trying to get that growing for 2024. Big things are in store for us this year. So enjoy the ride. Hopefully you're with us. If not, it's too bad. But hopefully, thanks to Courtney for being supportive every time. You're always open to talk, and I greatly appreciate our budding friendship for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate that too. Appreciate the friendship and appreciate the partnerships and everything too. So yeah, follow Dan and follow all the places where he's got producing and hosting and podcasting and all those things. So again, I thank you, man. Happy New Year, and
Likewise.
appreciate the time, man. And we'll have to do this again.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun, I should say.
Yes, yeah, definitely was a blast. And thanks to everyone that tuned in. Follow, and like I said, follow us on all social media and podcast platforms. And until next time, we'll see you guys next week. Peace and God bless.
Later, guys. Thanks.